Well, hello and welcome to this midday market mood check with me, Nandita, Khemka and Yatin Mota. Well, Yatin is all smiles today because I am back and so are the bulls from the holiday. We can see the Nifty is up above that 18,100 mark after sliding below that 17,900 mark on Friday. The Sensex is also zooming over 900 points, inching towards that 61,000 mark.
Right.
Now, what's fueling this up move, Yatin, is the strong global cues that we've seen. In fact, the Dow clocked its first major rally of this year on the back of employment data that came out for the month of December, and it has somewhat cooled down a bit, and that has inspired confidence that the Fed may not be as hawkish as was being anticipated earlier. So that is something that is fueling the Asian markets as well as the US markets as well, and in fact the China reopening is also something that is aiding sentiment today. But back home, among the sectoral gainers, auto, metals, all of them are rallying, but of course the one that deserves mention is the IT basket. Remember, TCS is coming out with its earnings this evening and the stock is up 3%. Muted revenue growth expected in wake of the seasonality factor, and of course also the expected slowdown in US and Europe. But Yatin, what are the markets expecting? How is the entire IT basket faring? And mind you, other IT majors are also reporting their earnings this week. Infosys, HCL Tech as well as Wipro.
Clearly, Nandita, so two things in the market which have been really hot. Obviously IT as a pack and Reliance Industries. So these are the two factors because of which markets are faring well. In fact, as Nandita was mentioning, bulls are back, she is back. She might love to take the credit, but it's all about IT and Reliance today. Obviously, if you look at the IT gainers at this point in time, we have TCS, Tech Mahindra and HCL Technologies up anywhere between 2.5% to 3%. Reliance is up nearly 2%. We had a CLSA report a few days back which mentioned the kind of traction we are looking at in terms of growth. Jefferies also had come out with a report. So a lot of brokerage is bullish on that particular stock. But we also have Mahindra and IndusInd Bank, both of these stocks doing well, 3% each for that one. What's not doing well, Nandita, is Titan. After the quarterly update, I think the markets were expecting some higher growth. That did not come in, probably because of which the stock
just
down
to cut you short here, it has reported double-digit growth across segments. Despite that, the market is a bit disappointed.
So it's a low double-digit number, Nandita. Probably markets were expecting more, and the kind of on-ground things which are happening, probably market is taking cognizance of that. Probably people are thinking about some margin pressure or the way gold prices are moving up. That might hamper some bit of demand in the short term. So variety of factors, but obviously if you look at the advance decline ratio, almost 3:1, so 3 advances for every 1 decline, and that is probably the reason why we are looking at a very strong mid cap and small cap market today. So a lot of stocks bouncing, especially the likes of IT. All the large caps and mid caps are doing well in that particular sector.
Right, when you're talking about business updates, Paytm is one counter that's upbeat. It has come out with strong business updates. It has seen strong growth in payments as well as loan distribution business. Other stocks in news would be Vodafone Idea. That stock is down 5% or thereabouts because there are reports that banks have refused, in fact they are reluctant to extend more loans to the, or more funds to the company before any kind of infusion on the promoter side or the debt to equity conversion by the government,
and Nandita, there are a lot of factors. We have debt, we have the government AGR conversion which is pending. Promoters are not ready to infuse money for the short term. So a lot of factors because of the stock is languishing and hitting 52-week lows. I think as a retail investor or as an investor or a trader, in fact, one should keep away from Vodafone Idea because you really don't know which side is the stock moving because of the debt issues. So a lot of things which are not favoring the company. So it's better to avoid at this point in time.
Any other stocks hitting 52-week highs today?
Not many, Nandita, but the ones which are doing well is PFC REC, new 52-week high, and we had the January news report suggesting that in the month of December a lot of distribution discoms or the state distribution companies have cleared a lot of dues. Probably this signals that PFC REC could be doing well, signals a lot of confidence for the power sector, which augurs well, and that is the reason why stocks have opened gap up. Both these stocks are at 52-week high. Jindal Steel, IDBI and Godfrey Phillips, these are other stocks which have hit fresh 52-week high. And IDBI, obviously there was a Moneycontrol report,
of course,
wherein Prem Vatsa's Fairfax and Emirat NDB, which is basically a Dubai-based bank, they have shown interest in the EOI, which was floated by the government for that strategic divestment. So that stock is also doing well. Last week also it did well, but today also we had a good gap up for that stock.
Sure. Yatin, also let's talk about some of the cues to watch out for this week. It's quite a data heavy week.
Yeah.
If you look at domestically, we will be coming out with IIP figures as well as CPI figures. Remember, CPI for November slipped below that 6% mark, and the RBI is literally at the end of the rate hike cycle. That's what the market is expecting, another 25 basis point hike in February, and that's maybe that will be it, and the RBI will be looking at a pause after that. But given the fact that US will also come out with its CPI data today, we have a lot of earnings also coming out of US this week. We'll have banking earnings like Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of America, all these companies reporting earnings. So all in all, it will be a very data heavy week.
And plus we have TCS today evening, Infosys, Wipro, HCL Technology. So I think the entire IT pack, the bellwethers or the large caps will come out of the earnings. So I think market will have a fair bit of idea also what is happening in the global market, the global demand, and the outlook of IT sectors will be quite important.
Also to mention, not to forget that HDFC Bank and Avenue Supermarts will also be coming out with their earnings on Saturday. So that's another thing that we will be watching out for. Anything that you're picking up from your market sources, given the fact that we've seen such a strong comeback by the bulls for the entire week?
So I think it's something to do with global cues. I think last week the sentiment was equally bad. Probably this is like a relief rally, or probably something markets will watch for going forward sustainably if the rally continues. And I think Nandita, a lot will depend on TCS earnings.
Sure.
Because
it will set the tone for the other IT giants as well.
Set the tone, and the management commentary on demand, and what clients are asking at this point in time will be very important, because if there is some caution on the demand side or the client spending side, I think the entire sector will have a
I want to remind you that Accenture had already guided for a very soft or cautious outlook going forward, and HCL Tech had already revised its guidance to the lower end of the band. So things are looking cautious when it comes to the IT pack, but of course we'll have to wait and see how the numbers fare. TCS. So with that, it's a wrap on this midday market mood check, but we will be getting you live coverage of the TCS earnings in the evening, so do tune in for that.